All right, part 2 of this workshop is continuing on to the benefits of emotional honesty. Like why, I didn't say man, look at my, I'm just reading what I wrote in my outline. Why is emotional honesty necessary? It's like, oh, interesting choice of words. What are the benefits? So yeah, I'm not sold on this yet at this point. I've seen why it's necessary. I love process, and when it comes to process, emotional honesty is how anything can even begin to change. So, I'm invested in it for its own sake, but I don't love it yet. So hence my choice of word. Why is emotional honesty necessary? Why do we have to do this? Do we have to do this? Come on. That's what I really feel. From part 1, I think most of us have got some answers that made us realize that even though we don't have a choice about not being emotionally honest, what we lost is us. I lost me. What I lost is my source of nourishment. Like, what a prize. Like, are you guys feeling that too? Like, that this is what I lost from not being allowed to be emotionally honest. Like, wow, am I willing to continue paying this price? Whew. So, well, what do you feel are the benefits or necessity of emotional honesty? What have we learned so far? What are some of our ideas? Jess.
That it's humility, and then if I'm emotionally honest, then I'm in my soul, and then also that's how prayers get answered. So
yes.
So it's the connection to like, oh, if I'm experiencing humility, then that's how I'm heard and that's how I'm helped. So yeah.
Beautiful. And from what I've learned, humility includes like what Jill just shared, where she just connected some emotions that for her are like dark. That's humility. You're willing to go, yeah, that's just what is here. This is what I feel. Okay. That's beautiful. Thank you, Jess. What else? Why else have you learned that emotional honesty is necessary? Who else wants to go? Casey.
So in part 1, the last question, I think exposed a pretty big facade for me.
Oh, ow!
But I consider myself a very loving person.
Yeah.
But what it exposed is that if I'm not emotionally honest, and I think you mentioned this in one of your other questions as well, if I'm not emotionally honest with all of the yucky emotions, there's no way for me to be loving and receive love. So the love that I'm giving is more often than not pure.
Oh boy.
There's some sort of motivation behind it.
Ouch. Yeah. Okay. I hate it when I find a facade. It just yeah.
Yeah. I'm in a denial phase, the 10-minute break, because I'm like, no, that can't. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Brave on you. All right. Thank you. And yeah, I mean that is very confronting. It's like if I'm not being emotionally honest, but I'm being nice to you, that's not real. Ouch. Okay. Thank you. Bart?
I think it relates for me to the intimacy. Intimacy, it's necessary to be, it's like a bridge. It's like the connection.
Yeah.
And there's a funny thing on the weekend. Well, it wasn't funny, but I saw my niece and my sister-in-law, and I haven't seen them for quite a long time. And I saw them in a public situation, and it felt so good to see them and give them a hug. And Leona was, Casey and Mila both know Leona. I really felt Leona's presence. Like
Oh.
I felt not only this connection, but I felt
Yeah.
this connection. And
Yeah.
then I went into the minimal, the smallness, and they were telling me that they were going to donate clothes and all these amazing things. And I think I started to shrivel. And what I did was I made something up. I
Wow.
made something up about what they'd come to buy. I was selling poinsettias, and somehow I made something up. I made it much greater, where the money was going for the poinsettias. I had to like make
Yes.
myself bigger. And at that point, I was lost with them. The connection,
Yeah.
this way, every connection was lost. And
Wow.
I didn't feel intimacy with them. And yeah, it just
No.
changed the whole dynamic. It was very, yeah.
Wow.
So that came about because I felt not enough and not important. And so somehow I manufactured this
Yeah.
answer. And
Yeah.
I don't even, it's like,
Yeah.
I did that? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll start bragging. I'm like, oh my God, am I bragging right now? Right now? Really? I'm watching it as it happened, right? You're like, what just
And
happened there? Okay.
I have one other example too with my daughter. Since she's had a diagnosis of an illness, I find that she's not emotionally honest with me. And so I just respect that boundary that she's putting up. And I'm not going there with her.
Yeah.
But it's like the shell. I feel like there's just nothing available for us to connect with. It feels so empty.
Yeah.
And so there's no love, or it just it reminds me of being a teenager somehow, just existing, being able to
Yeah.
get through the days. And so I'm very aware of that. And I think somewhere I want to take a risk and be emotionally
Wow.
honest with her.
Yeah.
But I don't want her
Even
to
if it's only
feel,
one-sided, even if it's
yeah,
only
I don't want
one-sided
her,
and there's no
yeah,
reciprocity.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Selena,
Like I
she's,
don't want her to have to feel
that's
something
that
she
a lot.
doesn't want to feel.
Yeah.
She's not ready to feel.
But then we as parents were the one that taught them that, oh, if you're going through an emotional crisis right now, you can't be honest with it with me. Even though you have now changed, they're still engaging with that parent. And so it's powerful when you are willing to be honest.
Awesome.
That
Thank
I
you.
can handle it. I can
Yeah.
handle whatever
Yeah.
you've got to say, whatever you're feeling, I can handle it.
That's super helpful because it feels so familiar, that place where I'm at with her. But I know something different now. I know how to be different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they need
Awesome.
to process the emotion that got created with the other parents that we used to be.
Right. Yeah.
They still have to process that nature.
Yeah.
Selena, do you want to share? You've done a lot of work in this.
Oh yeah. I mean, with my daughter, yeah. I have a daughter that's estranged, and I've worked through a lot of, right from conception, emotions around what I did to her and why she is the way she is, but she's still living in that damage so much that she can't even have a relationship with me. Like she doesn't. Yeah. And if I try to I am honest with her, and I am, she actually accuses me of being dishonest, which is kind of interesting. Because I'm not being honest about the things that she thinks are the thing.
That you respond,
Like,
that
I'm
she
not
wants
saying-
you to be,
I'm not saying that thing. So it's hard.
But it
I've
opens the door.
Yeah.
Now he's opened the door for her to start releasing the emotion. You have opened the door when, as the parent who then starts to process emotions.
And I think, and also I'm going through a process now of letting God be her parent. Like I almost had this feeling of I got to fix her before God can even look at her.
Yeah.
I do all this stuff. She's so broke. I got to get her somewhere, and then God can, and just letting God has a process for her too, that she can get through, and I can just allow that. Well, it's not even allowing it. I can just trust it, accept it, that that's happening.
It will happen. Yeah. Thank you, Selena. Okay. What else do you feel is the benefit of emotional honesty? Like for myself as a practitioner, I have found that, sometimes I get a little bit kind of a little insistent with you guys, because I can feel like until it's named and you say it, it won't flow. And until it flows, the physical condition will not change. There's something about you gotta name the pain, and then I can feel in your body something will start to shift. And there's usually a lot of fear in naming it. And so, but there's something about the conscious awareness of the emotion, like what Brian got in the information is emotional honesty is about the intellectual and the heart and soul, it all comes together. So there's an awareness necessary of the pain before it can flow. So I found that is kind of like something necessary. And also I have to check my notes. What did I write about that? So, and emotions can't move until they're spoken in the truth. And that when you're emotionally honest, now God and guides can get involved. And then, they can just remove the pain from you, and like a lot of beautiful things can happen once you get into that place. What are the benefits have you seen? Or do you believe happens with emotional honesty, Selena?
I found my attractions change.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Like what Jill just demonstrated.
Yeah. And that just really increases my faith, even when it's just little things, that,
yes.
And I'm finding they're happening more and more, these things that just really increase my faith.
Okay.
Yeah.
This stuff works. How many of you have had like some kind of health condition and then we named it and then you're like, oh, it's already getting better?
Yeah.
Because you named it.
Yeah. Yeah. I talked to just before I started seeing you, I talked to a specialist about my osteoarthritis, and it just started changing after that.
Because you spoke
having
about
a discussion with him. Yeah. Just spoke about it and was willing to kind of go there in a surgical way. And then I didn't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to get the most from asking our guides about it, because I can feel we're not sold on this. That's what's happening right now. We are like, yeah, we feel like we need to do it, but in our soul, we're not sold that this is necessary. So, but just as part one, my guide's answers really blew me away. So let's just go to the source with this one. I can feel you guys fighting me. And I'm already there, so it doesn't take much to push me over right now. Okay, here are the questions. The question to ask is, why did God make us emotional? Or why did God create emotions? It's like, they hurt. Why did you even create it? And what are the benefits of emotional honesty? And then what are some examples of times when I was emotionally honest, and how did it benefit me and others? Because sometimes if you're shown, like, here's a time when you were honest, then you're going, oh yeah, it's that moment, and this is what it felt like, so now I know what it feels like, and then look at all the things that came out of it. So sometimes it can help to have examples and a point of reference. So we'll take a bit of time to get some answers, and then we'll come back. All right, what kind of answers did you guys get around why did God make us emotional, or why God created emotions? depending on whichever frustration you wanted to feel about there. What are the benefits of emotional honesty, and what examples you have they can give with you about you being honest? Who wants to start? Lots of thoughtful looking faces out here. Hey, Jill, go ahead.
Kind of excited to share this after the drop into the other questions and sort of the darkness of it.
Yeah.
This was the benefit of that
Oh,
darkness.
wow. Okay.
So why did God make us emotional creatures? For the absolute pleasure of it. Like
Wow.
so how we get so excited. So I'm learning how to pottery, learning how to make pottery. And like the night before, I get so excited. I do a little dance. I'm like, oh, I get to go to pottery tomorrow. I'm doing pottery tomorrow. I'm doing, and same like how Bern was getting so excited. It's like, I want to just dance. The absolute pleasure of it is where is the emotional part of it. The darkness is it's like that was, and I may not be getting the words right, so please excuse it, but the darkness was placed there. It wasn't God's intention. It wasn't it wasn't by design. This was a placement. We still have to go through it. We still have to deal with it to get rid of it. Kind of like cleaning your house. You have to get rid of it, but we are working to the absolute pleasure of it. Benefits. I was really quite surprised by this answer, and helped in my my faith of it. Benefits: safety, security, survival.
Wow.
Love. That was the other benefit of it. And then the examples, I could go on for a little bit of the examples, but as far as when I've been emotionally honest, so I've gone through quite a bit to get to this point, including homelessness. So examples of getting a home, getting a good paying job, having money security, just the stuff that you need in this world. It has all been because of emotional processing and that honesty for it. So it's like, okay, this is what we get to look forward to, and I'll stay in the darkness. Thank you very much.
Wow. Okay. And you're already feeling it right now. You're connected to a darkness, your law of attraction immediately changed, and you're already beginning to feel a different state. Beautiful. Thank you. Bern.
Thanks, Jill. The question I just have is I'm not seeing the link between our emotions or the benefits of, when you say a home and what we have. Sorry, I just couldn't make that connection about, I don't know, Mila, about how the benefits of emotional honesty help us with secure, or the benefits of the security and
Jill.
You want me to answer that one? So not being emotionally honest, not not being emotionally honest. I lost everything. I lost my home. I lost trying to set up a career, lost a lot of money. But I had to get to that place in order to, well, I didn't have to, I shouldn't say that. I could have dealt with it beforehand, but
Yeah.
I wasn't in that place. I didn't see it. I didn't take off that layer to be able to see it. It's like I had to go through this process to see where the emotions were lying, where the blocks were lying, where what I had to work on. I had to go through that in order to get to this emotionally honest place in regards to that. So once I did get to that, once I did connect to that, things immediately changed around for me. I found a home. I got into that home, and once I took responsibility for the fact of, okay, I need to get a job. This career, this business of mine isn't working. I need to get a job. It was like, you took responsibility for that. Here's a job. And then, and it was just a normal job. And then, as I kind of got into the, and I'm hoping I'm explaining this right, but I've never had to explain this before. As I got into the emotions of, and the tantrums and the anger and all of that for not being able to not sustain, that's not the right word I'm looking for, to be able to support myself, and I got into those emotions, then a really good job came along, something that, I've been in the last 2.5 years. Really good pay, that kind of thing. Lots of everything that I really wanted if I'm going to work for somebody else, this is my idea of what I want to work for somebody else for. And it came to me. I didn't even look for it. It came to me. And then, I, in all of this emotional processing, I asked God one night, I'm like, God, what blocks, what do I need to work through in order to find my soulmate? And the next day, this lovely man asked me out on a date. And we got married. Soulmate or not, I have no idea, but we're working through that.
And
So
the emotion that you were really struggling with when you got pushed into the corner was to surrender to fear.
Surrender to fear. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Surrender there. I can't tell you how many nights when I was, when I was homeless, I lived back with my parents. Yeah. That was fun. Yeah. But I can't tell you how many nights I was shaking. I just went to bed and I would shake until I fell asleep, and then wake up and deal with things, and then go to bed, shake until I fell asleep. And finally, yeah. And then things just started to kind of break. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. There is that thing where you have to get pushed into the corner for that one thing. And then once you do, things just turn around pretty quick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jill.
Yeah.
And we think that if we're emotionally honest, we won't get security, we won't get safety. And yet the opposite is true. And the whole thing about the false belief we have are emotions. And as long as false beliefs are there, you just can't negotiate with it. And you just have to release it emotionally. And then truth also enter you emotionally. So then once that enters you, then you're good to go. No one can take it away. And, it becomes something you live on automatically. So a lot of what we don't recognize is that everything we're doing is for an emotion, and all our beliefs are emotions. Fear is an emotion that is holding on to a lie. Every single time, fear is about a lie. So I don't even negotiate with it anymore. You release it first because it's obviously a lie, and then truth can enter you. So thank you. Yep. Bern, do you wish to share your answers?
No, I think I'd love to hear some from. No, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Others want to share? Casey?
I'm going to answer them in the way that I
Yeah.
to ask, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So I completely blocked on the first one.
Yeah.
So I went straight to the second one.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, what are the benefits?
Yeah.
And I just get the answer, but I actually physically felt this one. Freedom within my body, particularly my joints and my muscles. They like for a millisecond felt completely free, and there was nothing wrong, and there was no pain and nothing. Also that I'll have better connection with people in the physical world, and in the spirit world, and also with my guides. So overall intimacy would be deeper.
Yeah.
Which triggered a bunch of terror. And then I moved into the third question. So some examples. I had quite a few examples, and the interesting thing is in all of the examples that my guides were showing me, I was in fear in every single one right before I acted. And it was all about being honest with whatever seemingly big emotion was in the forefront. Like I was really scared to say something truthfully, or I was really scared to take action on something for myself, like acting on my desires or something like that. It was always a fear thing that was looking at Jill, always a fear thing that was like coming up in my face first, that I had to feel through. And then once I let myself feel that question, I got the answers to the first one.
Okay.
And for me, it was all about connection. If I'm able to be emotionally honest with myself, I'm able to feel my brothers and sisters clearly, feel my guides clearly, feel God clearly. And I will want to learn and explore. I will want to create. I will want to share myself.
Yeah.
I will want to learn about others.
Yeah.
It kept going. That one kept going.
Wow.
At the end. Yeah.
Okay. And was that attractive for you? Or did that make you?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a small piece of me that's like, oh, that sounds really exciting. And then the rest of me is vibrating like.
Okay, there you go. A lot of views got triggered there. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I just want to share what they got. Okay, so I got that emotions are, because I'm going, what do you even create emotions? Emotions are like the energy of life. They allow for transmission, intimacy, happiness, and growth, like constant infinite growth. And that when I'm, by being emotional, I open myself to others and to God and to life. Like I'm actually engaging, I'm actually showing up in life, I'm joining in, I'm participating. I get to feel myself, I get to share myself, I get to co-create. I saw myself like we're all co-creating together. There's a vision and that gets to get manifested. And also that God can respond to us when we're emotionally honest, and we're speaking from what we really want, and God can respond to that. And how was the examples? The example was just now, just at the end there, just before I asked a question. I was feeling that the group was blocked, was shutting down. And then I actually blamed the group. I actually projected blame at everyone in that moment. I was like, I said it, I was like, oh, you're all shutting down. And they go, I think I just blamed. So I felt it. And then I took responsibility for it. I said, you know what? I just blamed you guys there just now for what's happening. My bad. I'm really sorry. And that was an example that I took responsibility, and somehow that gave me like it actually empowered me, but it also gave others the opportunity to take responsibility. That was the benefit that just happened there. And that when I'm honest, I'm not engaging addictions, and therefore others have room to be honest themselves. Now they get to feel themselves, and they get to also be honest, because if I'm not emotionally honest, that means I'm in addiction, then others have to engage my addiction so they can't feel themselves. That's one way in which we harm others. And I'm also seeing that nothing terrible happens to me when I'm emotionally honest. I only get gentleness from God when I'm being honest with God and my guides. Terrible things happened because I was in a terrible situation, but now as adult, we get to have a little more choice in where we are. But I'm not emotionally honest all the time with everyone. That's the piece that I'm at right now, negotiating with. So those were the many benefits. But again, you can ask this question every day and get different answers and help you to grow. So I think this is a good time to take another break and move on to part 3.